No, let's just take these off. The costs of the rigging it was still several thousands. You just can't get away from that. Tiare is a big boat. She's 55 foot and got 2 masts, so she doesn't just have 4 stays. She has 4 stays for each mast plus 2 at the front. So it all adds up. And trying to do this on a budget is difficult, especially with such a large boat. We've been able to find sort of industry solutions or industrial trade solutions to the marine pricing that seems to be happening in the world everywhere. If you call it marine for a pleasure yacht, it just it's 2, 3, 4, 10 times the amount sometimes. Should I use Dyneema or should I stick with stainless steel? For us, it was time-based and cost-based, and I guess location-based. We're in an area of the world where I have I just couldn't find any stainless steel that I was happy with, and also bringing it in was too expensive. That's location. Time-wise, I was running out of time. I almost really couldn't have done any stainless steel because I didn't have enough time to get it finished before the boat had to be, or the mast had to be put on the boat. And cost-wise, we just had to go for the most cost-effective method that we could find, most cost-effective option we could find. Kind of traditional stainless steel gives you that sort of feeling of permanence. It's there, it's steel. You can hit it with a hammer or a machete, and it's not going to do anything. It's just there. But it does have some downsides, and one of them is it's very heavy. So there's a lot of weight up aloft. And to give you an idea, 2 of my stainless steel stays, are the same weight as the entire new rigging. So I've got 10 stays on 4, 4 and 2. I've got 10 stays on the boat, and 2 of those stays are that's what my entire Dyneema rigging is the equivalent of 2 metal stays. And so, I can just pick it up, the whole lot up in one hand. It's fantastic. And that means that there's a lot less weight up aloft. It's, the weights come down, which is great for stability. One of the other positives about Dyneema is that it's so easy to replace. If you need to replace it, you don't have to take the whole mast out. You don't have to take the other bits of rigging out. You just unthread it from the top, which is a big thing. Plus, if I need to carry some spares, I can make some pre-made. I can have some pre-made stays, pre-made. They're easy to store. They're not going to rust. They don't take up room. They don't take up any weight, and you can just thread them through and pull them down without having to disconnect the whole lot. Other than that, there's no other real advantages between either of them. So the only option that I had really was to put the old stuff back up, and I didn't really want to do that because it was starting to have corrosion in places. Not because it was bad stainless, there's nothing wrong with it, but the previous owner had put sort of plastic sheathing over some parts of the standing rigging to stop the sails rubbing on the metal, and he had done it in such a way that in a couple of places he'd kind of used a heat shrink on there, and that heat shrink had worn through in some places and allowed water and salt water or whatever to get in there, and that had started corroding on the inside. The eyes down the bottom were starting to fall out, and bits and pieces were starting to, some of the strands were coming off because of the way it had been crimped before, and the top at the mast where the rigging comes up and comes down and then gets crimped, it's like a big loop up there. All that leather work up there to stop it sort of stop the bare metal rubbing on the mast had all gone hard and crappy and needed redoing. Not that that's expensive, but it does take a lot of time. And of course, over the years, I've been looking at Colligo Marine and looking at all their wonderful rigging and all their fittings, and just think, just basically boat porn looking at this. And it was always going to be way out of the budget. So probably, I think about 3 weeks to go before the masts were due to be stepped up again, I had made that decision. Right, we're just going to put the old stuff up, and to hell with it. I'll just put up with the aesthetics of it and just be a bit careful and keep an eye on the corrosion. And I met Peter Greig, who is a very, very experienced synthetic rigging guy, and he showed me and helped me through the whole process of choosing which Dyneema to use, the sizes, and then showing me how to do the whole lot. So it gave me the confidence, and it also allowed me to buy new Dyneema rigging at a price that is comparable to the stainless steel, and I could do it all myself. Anyway, I'm sure the prices will be up here or over there or somewhere. So the prices are good. I don't know if I thought I was quite lucky with these prices. You might be able to get them cheaper or similar price. I have no idea. If I was going to do it again, the only difference I would do is I would put either do 3 sets of low friction rings on each side. So I have 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, and then I would do the wrapping the join bits between the bits that are joined together. I'd have a 6-to-1 purchase basically, which is really what they used to do in the old days, in the old ships. If you look at the old ships, the old sailing ships and things, they just had, they had their lines coming down, they had the stays coming down, they'd be wrapped a whole lot of pulleys and little pulleys down there, and they just, it's the way they kept them tight. So that's really kind of cool. I mean, Tiara is basically the same way. She's just now a high-tech version of it. What else would I do different? Nothing. I'm actually really happy with it now, but like I said, once I've gone through a couple of storms, I will have a better idea of was it worth it or not. Greig, they have got a new product out there that I've just noticed in the last few months, which basically would work the same way. I would absolutely love to have those. I absolutely cannot afford them. They are so expensive, and I'd need 2 for every stay, so I'd be looking at a minimum of 16 of those, possibly 1 or 2 at the front as well. Oh, the other thing I didn't do, and I should have done, and that was a big mistake on my half. It's not a major, but it just made things life a little bit more stressful, is I needed to apply, for every long berry splice that I did, I needed to apply a 1-ton load on it just to stretch it out and then work it smooth so that the whole splice was nicely, it's just really nicely put together, and all laid down nicely and nice and thin. We literally couldn't afford anything like that. I mean, they're not expensive. They're, I don't know, $50 in the States. I'll probably get them for twice that here somewhere. But I couldn't find any, and we were down to our last pennies. We just couldn't afford it. So I thought that a 6-to-1 purchase would be enough. It wasn't. It made life extremely difficult putting the cover on. God, it was so tight. I was cursing. The guys in New Zealand where I bought the sheathing, they had said, yeah, we've tested it. It works on a splice. Should be no problem. By the time I'm doing it, I was thinking, no, you haven't bloody tested it. But yeah, of course they had. What I hadn't been able to do was put the pressure on to make that splice really, really nice and small. So I did the best I could with what I had, and I put it up there. And over the next few months, or the last few months, with the boat rocking back and forth and the mast just at the top there, it's sort of every time it's gone this way, it's pulled this a little bit tighter and tighter. So what's happened now is that it is nice and tight, and the sheathing just goes right over the top, no problem whatsoever. So yeah, they were right, I was wrong, but now she's fine. She's I'm pretty happy with it. The other mistake, it's not a mistake, but the other thing I would do next time is I would have used black sheathing like Peter does on all his jobs, I think, that I've seen. It looks smart. I mean, dark grey looks smart too, but black looks smarter. Other than that, that's really the only things that I would do differently. After seeing Peter's fids, they were longer than the stuff that you normally get, which is about this long. Yeah, it's fine for doing little soft shackles, that type. So what I did, I looked at his fids and he had them quite long, and I thought, right, I'm going to be making 1.2 meter berries, so I should probably have something, a fid about this long. So I just bought some stainless steel pipe, sliced off the end of it, bent it up a bit, put some sandpaper emery cloth on it to make it glass smooth. Dyneema is made up of tiny little filaments, sort of like thinner than your hair, and any burrs get caught on there will just rip that out, and it will just make it very difficult to work with the Dyneema when you're passing it through. Anyway, so until next time, which won't be too far away, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back again. Cheers, guys. To take Tiare out and give her an anti-foul, I did an absolute cock up. It just cost me a couple of grand, you know, but that's just boat life. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like. If you'd like to follow our journey as we get Tiare ready to sail and then start exploring this amazing country by sea, please subscribe.